The Flat Earth movement versus the hippie movement. Now, firstly, I don't like to call the Flat Earth awakening a movement because it doesn't sound right, because the Earth doesn't move. Now, comparing these two awakenings to each other is interesting. You got the hippie movement started in the 60s. Now you got the Flat Earth awakening starting in present times. Of course, there were flat earthers before, and there are awakenings at other times in the past, but we're talking about now, today's awakening to flat earth, because it was suppressed again. It awoke again in the early or late 18th century to early 19th century. Then it was suppressed again with the rise of NASA and space travel, or so-called space travel. So, in the 60s with the hippies movement, everyone was going on about peace and love, and there's music, and there was art, and there was a whole culture, the hippie culture, long hair, flowery clothes, flowery vans, and so on. And flowery songs and flowery poetry, and how everything was going to be beautiful, everything was going to be peaceful, it's going to be change. But nothing changed. Here we are now, nothing's changed. Things have probably got even worse. More control. Less natural. Less nature. Less love. Less peace. So why is that when you had all these people, this whole generation trying to change things? Well, let's look at the hippie movement leaders themselves. If you look at them, the musicians of that time that were involved in the hippie movement and the leaders, they all had military backgrounds. So where their fathers were in the military, their children were in the hippie movement as leaders of the hippie movement, in opposition to the military, in opposition to the war in Vietnam. But the truth is, they were never really in opposition. They, just like their fathers, were working for the military, controlling the opposition. For the best way to lead the opposition is to control it, which is a communist saying. So you had all these musicians supposedly on the people's side wanting love, and all these leaders on the people's side wanting love, when in reality they were working for the military, wanting war, but promoting peace, controlling the people, controlling the people's minds, giving them false hope. And what happened to all these leaders now? They all became rich, really rich, living in their mansions. But nothing changed. So all these leaders and musicians, they become rich celebrities, and the people still poor, still controlled, and so on. And that's the same thing that's happening in this flat earth awakening. You've got all these CIA agents and military agents and Jesuit agents all coming in here to lead you, saying they're flat earthers, pretending to be flat earthers, to lead you, control you, become rich themselves, and leaving you poor, controlled, and in no peace. So that's what we'll see in the future. We'll see all these flat earth celebrities, really rich, in their mansions, and we'll see you with nothing, still controlled, still wars, still no peace, still no love. So be careful. Be careful who you follow. Be careful who you trust. I can't expose every agent for you. You should have the discernment and judgment within you to understand and realize who the agents are. I've given you one, Eric DeBay. I chose him because he's like the Goliath of the Flat Earth Awakening. He's the one who set himself up as a president, so I took him out. like David taking out Goliath. In a war, you don't have one commander taking out everyone. You have a commander taking out the other commander. So I'm one commander and I've took out Eric DeBay as one of their commanders. Now it's your job to take out the other guys. I've made things easier for you. I've took out one of their shepherds. Now it's your time to take out their soldiers. Stay focused, stay sharp, stay aware. Don't be so stupid. Sometimes you guys are sometimes making me think that the CIA is right. Thinking that perhaps they are right for controlling you. Because you're that stupid, that gullible. You love being controlled. You love being a slave. You go to the slave master's feet and kiss it and say, thank you for these chains. Give me more chains. That's what you say. And I'm here just sitting here thinking, shaking my head thinking, what's the point? What's the point in even telling you that you are a slave and that that person is a slave master? When you love the slave master, you love being a slave. So perhaps I should not even judge the CIA. Perhaps they have every right to enslave you who wish to be enslaved. Perhaps I have no right to say they shouldn't be enslaving you if you yourself want to be enslaved. So it's an interesting times. And I like to compare the Flat Earth Awakening to the hippie movement, because I see the same things happening again. The same kind of military leaders leading the Flat Earth Awakening, just as they led the hippie movement and got rich from that, and nothing changed. So is anything going to change with this Flat Earth stuff? Hopefully. At least the Flat Earth itself is true. You've always got that now. Once you see truth, you can't unsee truth. So even though they're leading it, even though there's agents, at least you always know the Flat Earth is true now. And NASA can't mislead you. But the problem is they're doing the same thing that they did with NASA. Always, what's that saying in the Bible? There's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. So Flat Earth is a simple truth. Stop trying to make it complex. Stop trying to look for new things all the time. Because they'll give you new things. And these are false things. They'll give you psyops and lies. They're trying to make you look even more stupid and gullible by believing some of their lies they're putting into the Flat Earth. For example, Hitler was a great guy. The Nazi psyops. Giant trees. You're stupid to believe these things, but many do. You wouldn't believe how many people believed in that Hitler was a great guy and Nazis are good just because Eric DeBay said it. That's the problem when you've got agents as leaders. They lead you off a cliff. So be careful. I'm not always going to be here. Perhaps they'll take me out. Who knows? But whatever the case, you are the one who needs to be in discernment and right judging and aware. So I'm not your daddy. I'm not really even your leader. I'm just a guy who studies the truth and reads books. And I hope that you lot do the same. And some of these agents do have a purpose and a use for you. You may gather some truth from them. If, again, you have the right judgment to judge from what is the truth and what is the lies. It's like Alex Jones. He says loads of truth and then he also says loads of lies. But it's up to you to understand which is the truth and which is the lies. It's up to you to research which is true and which is false. Same as David Icke. He says some truth and he says some lies. He says there's a shape-shifting reptilians, which is a lie. But it's up to you to find that out. Unless, of course, you just like being a follower. Alex Jones says something and you follow it as truth without even researching it yourself. David Icke says something, you follow it as truth without researching yourself. Eric DeBay says something and you follow it without researching yourself. But even me, you should even not trust everything I say. I'm not an agent, but I could be wrong about something. So you should not always trust people 100%. There should always be room for doubt. Don't trust me 100% because I might not be right about something, even though I think it's right. So do the research yourself. Don't turn this into another hippie movement where the leaders get rich, live in mansions, and you get poorer because you're giving them all your money. You're funding them. You're funding the CIA. You're funding your own enslavement. You're paying for those chains. You're paying for your own prison cell. You're paying for those bars. You're paying for that cage. Stop funding them. Stop giving them your power. Stop giving them your time. Stop giving them your love. How many people I keep seeing idol worship? Eric DeBay. It's crazy. He's a CIA agent. He reads from a script. He was paid by the government to control you and to spread lies to you, to tell you that Hitler was a great guy when he wasn't. So you're funding him, you're calling him a hero, you're praising him. All you're doing is giving the CIA more power, giving NASA more power, giving the government more power, and giving yourself less. Interesting times to be alive. Stay aware. God bless.